Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Facebook. Today we have Saranga from Brisbane. How are you doing, Saranga?
Yes, everyone.
Today we are going to flip it around. So every week we ask the questions which were asked by us during the week, and I used to give the answers. Today I'm going to ask the questions, and Saranga is going to answer because we are going to focus on Brisbane. Saranga is specialized in Brisbane property market, so that we can get the best of the answers from him. Are we ready, Saranga?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Yeah, the first question we have got was, what are the developments in Southeast Queensland which is driving the growth? I think the reason for that question is there's a lot of talk about Southeast Queensland infrastructure developments and so forth. That's a very valid question because that will help the growth of the properties, obviously.
Yeah. So when you say Southeast Queensland, we tend to focus mainly on Brisbane, Gold Coast, and the Sunshine Coast. And there's also the western side, so the Ipswich side as well. There's been a lot of housing developments that were planned for those areas, purely based on the demand that was projected due to the government grants and the low interest rates. So as far as the infrastructure developments go for those areas, there's the Economic Development Queensland, which is a body. It works with the state government agencies and their partners. Our partners to develop land in mixed use urban renewal precincts, including commercial, education, and innovation precincts. So they have this thing called priority development areas, and what they look at when they prioritize the development areas is they look at the will the outcome support economic growth? Is there a need for accelerated development in that area? And is the development intended for a special purpose, and will it unlock any underutilized and surplus government on land, and will it drive development for community purposes? So based on that criteria, there are a number of areas that they've looked at in terms of infrastructure development. So we can break them down into metropolitan, regional, and also if you break it down further to Gold Coast and the like. So one of the major infrastructure developments in Brisbane is the Cross River Rail at the moment, which is connecting the city across the river. And there are a number of hotspots where there are going to be stops for the Cross River Rail, and there's been a lot of apartment developments purely because it's also in a city. So that's one of them. And there's also there's a Queen's Wharf development, which is right in the heart of the CBD. If you've been to Brisbane, it's right next to the casino. So that's going to be a large development as well. And there's also an entertainment precinct that's planned for the Roman Street Parkland. And that is meant to replace the old entertainment center to hold events. So that's going to drive in a lot of, it's going to build a lot of interest in Brisbane as a city. And if you're comparing, I guess, to the property prices of other states, Brisbane's still affordable. The median house price is less compared to Sydney and Melbourne. And the growth in Melbourne and Sydney it's slightly higher, but it comes down to that affordability. When compared to the vicinity, of the city, and the affordability of the house and houses and apartments.
Sure. And the second question is any government projects which we should be aware of in Queensland which will drive the growth? I think you touched upon that briefly, but probably, any insight onto that?
Yeah, so I guess I think I touched on more the metropolitan areas. I think if I were to focus a little bit on the regional areas as well, because Queensland's a fairly large state, and there are regional towns such as Townsville, Cairns, even a little bit further out, places like Blackwater, Roma. Some of those mining towns are getting a little bit of money. So if I were to focus on one project, that the Roma Hospital Student Accommodation Precinct, which is a $5.95 million Roma development, and it's a Queensland government's Growth Area and Regional Infrastructure Investment Fund project, and it's located in the economic development of Queensland in the areas called Clearview Rise Estate near Roma, and it'll be located within walking distance to the new $70 million Roma Hospital.
Right.
If you know where Rome is, it's out west. It's sort of, it's a bit of a regional hub, but it's important to know that, while we focus on the metropolitan areas, there are government projects that are putting money into the regional areas as well. There may be someone who's relocating from interstate to a regional town in Queensland. So, there's investment opportunities there as well.
Okay. Third question is, what do you think is driving the market right now? I think we are all aware, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, the market is going crazy at the moment. So yeah, what do you think is driving the market?
Yeah, so great news for investors at the moment is Brisbane's, if you purely focus on the Brisbane investment market, the gross rental yield for houses is currently at 4%, approximately 4%, and 5.2% for units. And the vacancy rates are at an all-time low. It's around the 1% mark. So if you're an investor, your house will be rented pretty much, so to speak. So that's one of the other positives. And the house prices are forecast. There was a forecast by three of the banks. ANZ forecasted that the prices will rise by 9.5% in the next year.
Yeah.
Due to the low interest rate and government stimulus flow. And also by 2022 and 23, the Commonwealth Bank predicted there'll be a 13.7%, 16.6% in Queensland, in Brisbane, compared to 13.7% in Sydney and 12.4% in Melbourne.
Yeah, and also I think to add on to that, the grants which were offered during COVID, the home builder grant would have definitely helped.
Yeah, that's right. And again, I mean, the low interest rates.
Yes.
As well. And I think I touched earlier a little bit on the median house price. The affordability in Brisbane is still there compared to, I guess, Sydney and Melbourne were the two big brothers, I guess.
Yes.
And a lot of the investors are considering Brisbane now due to the projected growth in the years to come.
Yeah.
And also the affordability once again.
And there were, during COVID, there were so many people who moved in from Melbourne and Sydney to Brisbane as well. So there's a flock of population which came into Queensland.
Yeah, and Brisbane's had, I think we've only had one lockdown as well in comparison. So, which is a good thing. So there's a number of factors. I mean, market's only looking upwards from here. A lot of people probably thought, we weren't sure what was going to happen to the housing market due to COVID, but it's only been going up. And just some local data, just a few, houses that were open homes. We've had one house, this is more the inner city suburbs, had about 40 people turn up and about 12 offers.
Wow.
One showing. So, and the price was over $1 million. So, so certainly the demand is there.
Yes.
And also, I guess, if you go a little bit further out, if you're thinking 30 kilometers out from Brisbane, people are considering, house and land package now. It may be very close compared to Sydney and Melbourne terms,
Yeah.
But in Brisbane, it's not far, but it's still, you're just far enough from the city, and people have come to realize that you no longer need to go into the city.
Yes.
Therefore, the demand for house and land packages that are a little bit out from the city have really grown.
Correct. The next question is on dual key properties. Dual key properties are very popular in Queensland, and these are great opportunities for investors. Where can you find these packages?
Yeah, so dual keys, I think they were a great concept, and they're still around, but they're a little bit rare nowadays due to the demand. I think about 4 months ago, if I were to look back, I think dual keys you could pick up dual keys from in the early 400,000s for a dual key property. So a dual key property, for those who don't understand the concept, is one title, two houses, pretty much. So it's like an annex, but you can have, there's a combination of 4 bedrooms and one on the other side, or 3 bedrooms on one side and 2 bedrooms on the other side. So the idea is that you could either live on one side and rent out the other side, or you could rent out both sides, so it would generate two rental incomes. And people who dived into that concept earlier on are really laughing right now. They made their money, the capital growth's been great, and the rental yields have been great. Just if you just look at the data over the last 12 years, there's been a really high growth for those properties. And Logan City Council is one of the only city councils, and the Gold Coast were allowing dual key properties to be built. And I think maybe Ipswich as well. Namin, would you know?
Yeah, so Ipswich as well as even places like Park Ridge.
Yeah, that's right. So Park Ridge part of Logan.
Yeah,
Yeah, so which Logan is a great area, which has probably been the most popular out of all. Park Ridge is considered the fastest growing suburb in Brisbane. Um, at the moment, due to the large number of developments as well as other infrastructure projects and commercial projects coming to that area. And it's also between Brisbane and Gold Coast, so it's considered a bit of a growth corridor, because eventually Gold Coast and Brisbane will merge. And yeah, so the growth's been really good. And so most of the people who've picked up the dual key properties have been investors, because it had generated them two incomes. And a lot of them who jumped into the concept earlier on had a positive, they were positively gearing, so they were getting a profit after having paid all their costs, mortgage, and the rates, etc. Even now, it's still affordable, and I think it's still a good concept. However, the demand is really, really high. So as soon as a property comes to the market, sometimes within hours, it gets picked up. You have to be really quick. By the time you go back to your family and have a talk about whether you're going to put an offer in, it may be gone. So that's how fast they're going.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, you cannot simply beat the dual key properties, great rental returns. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And
The next
they're not
question.
building them as much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So the next question, Saranga, is on Gold Coast. Apart from being a tourist destination, what other aspects are driving the growth of Gold Coast? Is the question.
Right. So the Brisbane property prices went up, and we saw a shift of people moving to regions that are south of Brisbane for purely based on affordability. So then people started looking at Gold Coast and Logan. So started moving more, towards the south. And the area between Brisbane and Gold Coast, which is also known as the Development Corridor, Development Gateway, and it it will continue to go up. So that, while the concept of working from home got really popular, people chose the lifestyle. And there are a number of developments that are planned for the Gold Coast as well. There's some money being put in by the state government for infrastructure projects. Yeah, so due to a number of reasons, the availability of infrastructure, the lifestyle's probably been the major factor for people moving to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, and then we just got another question from what are your thoughts on Sunshine Coast? So I think, Sunshine Coast is another developing area. For example, there's a development called Aura by Stockland, which is a massive master plan community. So things like that will really drive growth. And especially the commercial properties in Sunshine Coast is really, really good.
Yeah, so and the other thing is the lifestyle. Sunshine Coast lifestyle is a bit different to the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Gold Coast is a little bit busy. It's a bit more upbeat, and it's a different lifestyle. But Sunshine Coast is very much quiet, and there's more of a family feel. Gold Coast has that too, but Gold Coast is a little bit, I guess, quite developed right now.
Yeah.
In terms of projects and houses, apartments, tall buildings, highways. Whereas Sunshine Coast is a little bit still pristine. The beaches are a lot better. Well, personally, I think that I'm not selling Gold Coast short, but Sunshine Coast, yeah, it's got that little bit. Even you'd say coming from the southern states that Queensland is laid back, but if you're comparing to Brisbane and Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast will be another notch laid back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thanks very much, Savanja. I think that's pretty much for the day. Again, we'll be coming to you live again every Thursday, 5:30. Today it was 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Please drop in all your questions in any of our social media channels. And we will see you next week.
And I think we should probably also mention quickly the National Real Estate Expo.
Yes.
That's coming up on the 29th of May. So if you haven't registered, follow our Facebook page. You'll see the link. It's free to register. And you'll get to see developers from across Australia in all cities. So if you're thinking about investing, you can jump in and see what properties are there. You can ask questions. You can chat with the property experts there, and just direct any questions that you have, and maybe you'll have a property that you like to invest in.
Yeah, it's going to be a very unique experience from a user's point of view. You can choose to browse projects all across Australia, right from your home. You can spend 30 minutes to an hour the entire day there. It's like going into a Melbourne or Brisbane property show, but virtually. So it's pretty unique, and you definitely have to experience it.
Yeah, and it's free to register. So you got nothing to lose. Jump in and have a look, and see how you go.
Excellent. Thanks, Aranga.
All right. Thanks, Navin. Thank you, everyone, for watching.